Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Painting with Harold again. Uh, Tonight we have another 16 by 20 inch canvas already turned on landscape, already covered with a thin, even coat of liquid white. And I'm a couple minutes early, so I will wait to see if we get anybody come in with us to paint with us or to watch us. Oils with Mick. Let's see some almighty magic. What's going on, Mick? I saw that amazing paint set you got, the Bill Alexander Vintage set. That was a pretty good snag. I've got uh I've got one of the 1980 or 1982 or three 2.5 inch brushes, and I got one of his 1 inch brushes, and I've got two of the fan brushes and one of his brand new little hake brushes he used. And I've had those for about 4 years now, and I've never used them, and I don't plan on it. $55, man. That is a good deal. Well, lucky you. Yeah, I know they discontinued the 2.5. That's why I'm not using that one. That's a keepsake. I don't have a clue what I'm gonna paint tonight. Knowing me, it'll be some mountains and some trees. I guess I'll give it a minute before I jump into this to see if anybody shows up. I don't know what kind of crowd we'll have tonight since I painted live here last night. May not have a crowd at all. I don't know. What you doing out rambling tonight? I figured you'd be painting somewhere. I had emergency dentist. Ooh, I hate the dentist. All right, for everybody that misses the live stream but ends up catching it later on YouTube, I got a 16 by 20 inch canvas turned on landscape, and it's already covered with a thin, even coat of liquid white. My colors tonight are titanium white, phthalo blue, Prussian blue, alizarin crimson, mountain mix, and I got a little blackout. I've got dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, sap green, cad yellow, yellow ochre, and the evil bright red. No Indian yellow again tonight. Basically the same colors I had out last night. I cannot talk without sounding drunk. Well, I hate it for you, Mick. I really do. That's a painful situation, man. I do not like a dentist. All right, I think the first thing I'll do is come over here and tap me on just a little bit of this Prussian blue here. Very little. And I'll come up. I'll start in this corner. In this corner. And then I'll just bring these colors all the way across. Let them meet up. I'm just using a little egg stroke. Come back in like so. Just a simple, basic little sky today. Nothing really fancy. And we'll let it get lighter as it makes it toward the horizon. Just like always. Right there. Get that off. Alright, here we blend. Coastal sky. Got to bring all these colors together and get rid of some of them brush strokes. Not like so. And I'll come back down here. Pick up just a little bit more of the Prussian blue. Tap it right in the brush. Come across here, starting at the bottom. I just want to come across here and pull this color straight in. Not like so. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Just pull it straight in. And it'll automatically mix with the liquid white and get lighter as we go up. Just like so. And I'll come over here and knock a little of this color out on my napkin over here. Then I'll just start lightly blending them together. And I started in the light and worked my way down. That way I ain't bringing this dark color back up. About like so. I've got that little light streak running through the middle. That could look like a sheen of light across the water. I may have too much light on tonight. Let me tone this light down a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Way better. All right, I'll go ahead and get ready to wash that brush. All right, let's put some clouds up here in our sky. And for that, we'll just do some some more of those real simple clouds we've been doing the past few paintings. And they're real easy to do. Just load up a fan brush by pulling it through the white. That's all we're doing, just pulling it right through the white. And then just pick you out a spot. It don't matter where you start. Just pick you out a spot in your sky, anywhere up here, and just smash it in there. And then just come out, just wiggling that brush, just all kinds of ways, just like a fish out of the water, just like so. Now, it don't get much easier than that to make a cloud. Then clean off your brush. You come over here, pick you up a little more color. Just pull your fan brush through. Pick you out another spot and just jab it in. And again, just no kind of action or pattern at all. Just pulling that brush across. Just flopping it. We'll get a couple of hairs out of there. In fact, we'll take this on off the canvas over here. Just let it disappear out there. We can let this one come off too. Just like so. Now we'll drop that in the thinner. We'll grab us a clean, dry 2-inch brush. We'll come right up here at the bottom of these clouds. And with the top corner of that brush, we just want to lightly blend out the bottoms. Just real light. And then the same on this one. Just blend out the bottom. Nothing to it. Just real lightly. Just like so. And then come back in. Fluff them up. Just fluff them up. Just like so. And then no pressure. No pressure at all. I mean, you're almost missing the canvas. When you bring that brush across, you're almost missing it. Just barely letting it touch. Just like that, you set them clouds right down into the sky. Now, I can't think of an easier way to show you how to do clouds than that right there. That's like the simplest clouds I know of. All right, I'll hang on to that brush a second. Then I'll come over here. I'll grab my knife. Well, I'm going to start with the big knife. I ain't going to do it with the little one. I'm going to grab my big knife. I'm going to come up here with my mountain color. And I'm going to pull it out as flat as I can get it. I'm going to grab that little roll of paint. If you can see that roll of paint on my knife right there. It's not much paint at all. Let's get it there. It's white part. Don't have much paint at all right now. Just very little. We need to figure out where we want a mountain tonight. I'll tell you what, let's start right here. We don't want to start dead in the center, so we'll come off to the left just a little. We'll come up and kind of make us a point up here. Bring it out like so. Then we'll come over here. And we'll come up. Like so. We'll put us another little area right up here. We'll bring it down, about like so. Then we'll pick this up just a little bit more paint. You never have to have too much paint when you're doing this. All right, we'll come down on it about right there. We'll put us a little kick out. Make it. We don't want no real straight mountain in here. We want it to have some jagged edges and whatnot. We'll put us a little ridge right in here. We'll do the same on it. Just kind of give it a little kick out. Not like so. At this point, we're not worried at all about what's happening in the body of this mountain. Just this outer edge up here. Then we'll come over and maybe just one little peak there at the very end, hanging out. Just to kind of give us a complete mountain range across there. And we'll just let him ride on out, like so. Now I'm coming in here scraping up as much of this paint as I can. Just be careful not to get outside your edges if you can't help it. Because if you do, your mountain's either going to grow or you're just to make some birds. One or the other. All right. Now with this paper towel I've been using right here, I'm just going to kind of fold it, double it up, and just make me a little point on it. And I'm going to come up here and get as close as I can up here and just kind of pull this paint out with this paper towel. Now, if you're using just plain paper towel, you want to be careful doing this because you don't want to get the paper towel tearing off, getting those little naps all in your paint. If you got a better paper towel, I would recommend that. A lot of people like those blue shop towels, but a good quality paper towel will do the same thing. Maybe not as good. I don't know. I've never tried the blue shop towels, but I know these paper towels right here are real good about not napping up. And these, believe it or not, are just a real inexpensive little paper towel that came from like Dollar General or something. They're not very expensive. But they're pretty tough to be an inexpensive paper towel. All right, now I'm going to pick me up a 1-inch brush. And I'm going to use a 1-inch right here because it's a little smaller. And I'm going to come up here and work my way up to this corner. And I just want to come up here and just start pulling this color down. like so. All right, I'm just going to come in here and just lightly work it across. Just work out the bottom of it. Just lightly blend it. And that does a couple things. It gets rid of a lot of the brush marks. Plus, it already starts your little mist that we always want at the bottom of the mountains. This already kind of starts that. Now, granted, when we get back to this point, we can always add more, and we may do it. I don't know. It just depends on how the mountain turns out from here, because from here forward is unpredictable. So we'll just see what happens. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here in my white, and I'm gonna pull me out a spot just as flat as you can get it. You got to pull that paint out flat. That is the key, a big key. Then I pick up just a small roll of paint. I'll move this brush for now. And I'm gonna come right up here, and I just want to real lightly come up, just barely holding this knife. Come right up here to the peak, and start right on that outside line. But you don't want none of the black left out there. And just lightly pull it down, just like so. And then grab just another little roll and come up and just very lightly again, just pulling that paint down real easy. And by pulling it down easy like that, it just lets it break. Go up here, maybe it's a little dark under there. Come back down, just like so. And by leaving all those little dark spots, when this paint breaks, that's what gives you your little crevices and all in it. Shows a bunch of little holes and dips and dives and all kinds of stuff. Right. I'm going to hold off on that about right there for now. I'm going to pick up just another little roll. I'm going to come up here on this little peak. I'm going to start pulling it down. I'm going to start kind of working it over towards the other little mountain we got going on over here. About like so. Just real light touches, all it is. Just let that paint break. Such an easy touch right there. And we'll come right up here. And we'll do the same on this peak. Just real easy. No pressure at all on that knife. No pressure. If you go to applying pressure on it, That's when it's going to start smearing it and give you that look like you're icing a cake or spreading like putty on something. I mean, it's just no pressure. The knife is never actually touching the canvas. It is just the paint that's touching. The minute you feel that knife touching, go back and get you just a little more paint. All right, now I'm gonna come up here on this peak. I kind of want to pull it straight down right in here. Then I want to kind of work it over. All right, we're coming here. Pull this down a little bit. And I just want to. All right, now I'm going to swap over to the little edge of my knife. And I'm going to come right in here. And I'm going to start working this color over towards this other side over here. Just real lightly. Just like so. Because I think in my mind, and my mind does some crazy stuff sometimes. But I think in my mind, with that sun hitting this peak, some of that's going to end up in a little bit of shadow right in there. I don't think all of this will be real bright. So I think a little of this will end up in shadow. So just like that, we'll let a little of it stay bright, but then we're going to kind of tone some of it down a little, just in case. Now, if it don't look right here in a little bit, we'll go back and fix it. That's the beauty of oil paint. We can do that. All right. Then we'll pull me out another flat roll paint. Come right up here. Get me another little roll. Come right up here on the side. And start straight down with it. Just right through here. Just lightly pulling down. That's all I'm doing. Just like so. Just real light. No pressure. And just letting that paint, just letting it pull right off the knife. Just letting it break. It's doing all the work for me. All I'm doing is just lightly pulling it. The paint's actually doing all the work. The paint's just grabbing the canvas. And I'm just letting it. I don't know that I can stop it, to tell you the truth. I mean, because as soon as it touches that canvas, you can feel it. And the minute it touches it, just comes right off the knife. So, I mean, with it doing that, all I have to do then is just pull the knife a little bit. And once you get used to this feeling, and like the first time you ever get it to work, and it's like a breakthrough for you, kind of like your breakthrough moment, is what I'll call it. You're gonna be surprised, really and truly, at how light a touch this really is. I mean, I wish I could explain how light of a touch it is, but I can't. Bob said he told his son Steve to just act like you a whisper. He said Steve caught on by telling him that. I don't know if that would work for anybody else or not, but I gave a pretty good example of it last night on how it works, like a hinge. So if you get a chance, go back and check out that video. It's just a live video. I did last night. I painted a couple mountains and typical Bob Ross type stuff, just trees, water, and mountains and sky, which is about the basic Bob Ross painting, to be honest with you. I'm just pulling this, just kind of letting it do its own thing here. Got a little more to paint. Just coming up here. It's such a light, easy pull. There is absolutely. I'm almost about to drop this thing. That's how easy I'm holding it. I'll pull that color right over in here, about like so. Then I think a lot of that'll be in shadow. All right. Now, let's mix up our shadow color. And for our shadow color, I'm going to get just a little bit of the white, not that much. I'll bring it up here. I'll give a little bit of the Prussian blue, not that much. Very little bit of the Prussian blue. And then a little bit of the mountain color itself. And I'm just going to mix these colors real marbled. I don't want them mixed real good. Now you mix yours however you want, but I don't want mine mixed real good. Then we'll pull me out a couple of rolls up here, real flat. They got to be flat. Flat as you can get it. Then we'll go up here with this little edge of my knife. I'm picking up a little color. I'm going to come right up here to my highlight, touch it, and pull off. Just touch it and pull off. Just like so. You come all the way down through here with it. Just like so. And all that does is just gives you another ridge looking area right there. And I'll grab a little bit more. I'll come right up here to this highlight. I'm going to follow this outside line back here because we don't want no black showing if we can keep from it. Then I'm going to come right here and just slightly start pulling off these highlights. And if you pull a little of that white over with it, that's fine. It'll just look like a little light bleeding over. Nothing to really worry about there. You just want to try to pull it in the opposite direction of your highlights. As long as you're doing that, you shouldn't have any problems. All right. Just like so. I'm going to come down. And we'll just let that go like that. That'll look like some kind of little valley right in here. We'll just mix these together with our knife, just like so. Just kind of blend them with the knife. Just kind of pulling them together through here. About like that. And that'll give it that little, kind of like it's a little valley in there. If you can see that. All right, then I'll come up here and get me a little more of my color. I'm come right up here. And I'm going to start on this outside line again. Now, if there's any questions at all, feel free to ask them. I will answer any question you got if I can. And if I can't, then I'll try to find somebody that can answer it for us. But I will do my best to answer it. All right, I'm going to pull some of this in now. And let all of this be in shadow over here. Because I really feel like with that mountain, the shape it is, I feel like that shadow's going to kind of cast over here a little bit. See how it looks like it's hitting that peak and just casting the shadow right here on the side of that one. I mean, to me, that's the way it looks. I mean, it may not look right to anybody else, but I'll try to start straightening it out down here. Because we got a little smaller back down in this area. So, not like so. All right, then I clean my knife off. So I'm gonna come back up here now and just kind of knife blend again. And all I'm doing when I say knife blend is I'm just dragging that knife across both colors and just letting it work itself out. I'm not applying no pressure. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just letting it just pull itself around. Now, like I said, in my eyes, it looks just like the sun's coming, hits this, casts a shadow on this side, lights the rest of this up and then catches it right in here. And if it don't look that way to you, you don't have to do yours that way. I mean, you feel free to do your mountains however you want to do them. Like Bob used to say all the time, it's your world. And that's about as true a statement as anybody could say. It's your painting, so make sure you're happy with it. When you sit down to paint a painting, paint it for yourself first. Don't worry about what other people are going to think about it. Because believe me, you're going to be your own worst critic. You're going to be harder on yourself than anybody else is. You're going to find every little problem, every little thing you think you did wrong. You'll be the one to find all of them. Because you're the one that painted it. You're going to know where they're all at anyway. So, don't put as much thought into what somebody else thinks. Because you could come out of here with something that looks like Picasso did it or Michelangelo or one of them guys. And there's gonna be a critic out there somewhere that's gonna have something to say about your work. And chances are you're gonna be the worst one about it. Because too many times we sit down to do a painting and we think, man, am I ever gonna get the hang of this? How come I can't get this to do that? Or how come I can't? And the whole time you're frustrating yourself and you're getting yourself in that mood. And if you're in that mood, well, it reflects right up here on this canvas. So sit there with the mood that, hey, I'm just gonna put some paint up here, and if I mess up, I'll fix it. And then when it starts looking good, pat yourself on the back. You know, give yourself as much confidence as you do negative sometimes. Like what I was saying right here. You know, in my eyes, I see that peak casting shadow over here. I don't know who else would see that or who else, you know, they're like, oh God, he messed that up. Well, to me, it don't look messed up. And it's my painting, so. All right, I'm going to come right back up here now and fix this outer edge here. Just clean it up a bit. Now you can always take a little of the dark color. You don't have to use a lot, but you can take just a little of that dark color and come up here and touch different areas with it and give yourself little darker shadows in places. And over here, you know, you can drop a little of the dark. You can do the same thing with the highlight. That's kind of the beauty of it. Mountains have so many formations and defective looking areas that, you know, you can mess up and say, oh well, you know, that's just a little divot. That's where so and so happened, you know. And who's to know? I mean, they don't know. They don't know what was on your mind when you was painting this. See, you can come back and add little areas of white like that, and then come in there and just come back in and smooth it out, and just let it drift out, and it just looks like bled over light. You know, just like so. Oil paint is so forgiving. That's one of the beauties of it. All right, as far as I'm concerned, that's not a bad looking little mountain range right there. I see one spot up here I could go back and do just a little bit of work on right through here. It don't take much though. Just right through there. Just a very little right through here. Yep. Now, to me that looks way better. Raise that little spot right there up. Pushed all that back behind it, further back. Okay. Any questions? questions or comments or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'll take my 2-inch brush again now. Then we'll come up here. I'm just going to start lightly tapping along the bottom. And I'm just diffusing the bottom here. And I'm being extra careful to go up the same direction that my mountain's pulling down. That is also very important. Now there's a couple things you want to be aware of right through here. You don't want to create a straight line. See how I'm almost creating a straight mist line across there? Well, we're going to have to come back and fix that because you don't want that. You do not want a mist line that looks cut off across here. That does not look natural at all. So, here in just a second, I'll show you how to fix it. Okay. We got all that tapped that direction. Now in this direction, we want to do the same thing. Just go back the opposite direction now. Tapping the bottom down. And that'll give us our mist at the bottom over here. Okay, now, when you get that mist like that, come in here like you're doing clouds and just make you some little circles. And just blend that out across there. Just lightly blend across the bottom. You go up into it just a little, but not much. And you want to be real gentle right there. Whatever you do, don't get too aggressive right in here. Just real gentle, little circles. Just like doing clouds. And then come back and lightly pull that color up into your mountain. And that'll get rid of your brush strokes. And it'll help with the effect of that mist. And it'll just pull that mist right up the side of your mountain a little bit. It'll make it taller in places. And that's kind of what you need to happen, you know. Like I said, you just don't want a straight line of mist coming across there. That, to me, that just don't look natural. I've done that, I can't tell you how many times. And then go back and look at it and be like, why didn't I see that? And a lot of times it's because I don't step back and look. I just about to do something and go with it, you know. We're about like so. It's plenty of mist in my opinion. And we'll just make sure we ain't got nothing down here in our water we don't need. We'll just bring them back up to the mountain, just like so. All right, I see something over here. Something black happening. Okay, it's just still higher. All right. Any questions? Let me fix this spot right here. And don't get to pilfering with your mountains too much. Because I'm telling you, you can sit here and put hours in one of these things. The more you look at it, the more you're gonna see wrong, or the more you're gonna see you can do. Add here and add there. And the next thing you know, you done screwed up everything you done. All right. We ain't got no questions. I'm gonna move on to the next step. Pick me up a fan brush. And I'm gonna come right up here in my dark color that I made my mountain with. And I'm gonna add a little bit of the Prussian blue to this color. Not much, just a little. Got my brush loaded up pretty good here. And I just want to come over here at the bottom of this mist and just start making some little tappy trees. Just tapping and pulling them straight down. You just want to be careful in here not to kill all the mist. That's the main goal here. Just don't kill all your mist. That mist is our separator right now. That's what pushes our mountains back. Makes these little trees look like they're in front of it. So if you kill all that, it's not going to have that depth to it that we want. And just try not to make all these the same size. Kind of give them some high spots and low spots. If you can do it and get away with it, make you some fat ones and some skinny ones and some tall ones and some short ones. Just give them all kind of personality across here. Just like people. Trees come in all kind of varieties. The one thing you want to avoid is just laying them down to the side. You want them to be straight up. Because if they get to leaning on you, it's going to look like a strong wind back there creating a hurricane force wind that got your trees all bent over. If they wasn't so tall, it looked like grass blowing in the wind back there. But they're a little too tall to be grass. So just come in here and just try to keep them as straight as you can. Now, when you're having to reach over like I am and paint at an angle like this, it gets pretty difficult to keep them straight. But you still have to keep them straight up and down. If you're painting them at home and mine are crooked, don't make yours crooked. Maybe it'll be a good opportunity for you to see what crooked would look like if I do get them leaned over, which I hope I don't. I want them to stay straight if I can keep them straight. Just give yourself some tall ones and some short ones. That's all there is to it. Come back over here and come up here just like that. All right, now I want to come across here and try to straighten the bottom up best I can. About like so. See, these look crooked to me. So I'm going to try to straighten them back up some. Now these are the ones that shouldn't be crooked. I'm looking at them head on. Now that's terrible. That is terrible. All right. Lay a fan brush down a second. Pick up my 2-inch brush again. And I'm going to come right up here in these. And I want to just come across here, make me a line. And I'm going to pull you straight down across here. Just pull them straight down. I guess my canvas is crooked or something. I don't know what's going on. I just want to pull them straight down. Just like so. It do not look straight at all. All right, and then very lightly come back across. Give yourself that instant reflection. Make it look just like water across there. And you want to try to pull these down about the same height as they are up here. About like so. Then you can take that same fan brush, get you a little more color on it. You can come back up here now and come across here and just pop you in just bending the brush up. Just come across the bottom of them there. And just put you in a little line of something we'll make look like grass or bushes or something across here. Just real light. They don't have to stand out too much because all this is real far away. We'll come right in here and get just a little of this yellow. And that'll give us a kind of a green effect. Like I said, we don't want much back here, just very little color back here. Just to give an indication of some little bushes or little grass, whatever. Just want to be able to see it back there. Just don't want it real bright. Yeah, about like so. That's about all we need. You can even take just a little of this color, very little, and you can come up here in some of these trees across here and just add a little flavor in here. And it ain't got to be much, because even this little bit that we add will tone some of these down to the green side, and it'll just make them look like they're way off in the distance. But even at that, you can still see a little of the green in them. But our main focus is that they're good and dark. Then I'll come right over here, get me a little bit of the white paint on the edge of my knife. And I'll come right back here under the little grass we just made. And we'll come across here and give ourselves a level water line across here. Keep that knife as level as you can across here. If you have to move up in spots, just move up, and all that'll do is it'll just make it look like your bank kind of went back a little. Make it look like the bank made a little change. That's all it'll do. But just try to keep that water line as level as you can. Or else it's gonna look like it ran out to one side over here. And you can get just a little bit more. You come in here with the butt. You come in here and give yourself some little ripples here and there. Just indication. It don't take many of them to be effective. About like so. All right. Now I'm going to pick me up a 1-inch brush again. And I'm going to come right up here in my dark color. I'm just going to tap straight down into it, into my mountain colors. I'm going to come over here and pick up just a little bit of sap green and add to that color. And just load this brush up. Man, what is it with you and this dot? All right, then I'm going to come up here. I just want to start tapping me on some trees up here. Just an indication of some little trees back in here. Not like so. Yeah, I hear you. I wish. Bob Ross is way better than I ever thought about being. All right, then we're going to come across like so. Just come out into the water. About like so. Give ourselves that little peninsula out here like that. Come right up here. Well, I'll tell you what, before we do that, I'm going to come right in here and I'm just going to go ahead and pull this color on down. Like so. Across here. I don't know what all colors we'll end up with on this tree back here and on that bush, but we'll see. I wish more people could see your art. It's amazing. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. Uh, Feel free to share the video. I mean, that's about the only way I know of getting it out there is for people to like and share it. That and subscribing and just word of mouth. That's I don't know how else to do it. I've tried. About like that's what we're looking for. Now I'm gonna pick up my knife. And I'm gonna come right up here, get me some of my dark brown, my Van Dyke, and a little bit of sienna. And I'm gonna come out right here under my line and just pull me out a little bank across here. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Just ever so lightly. Put us a little bank under here for it to sit on. Not like so. I'll come back, kind of straighten it up some. I'm just pulling it out and down at an angle toward the center of the painting. Just like so. Just like that. That's all I'm doing. Then I'm going to wipe my knife off. Then I'll pick me up just a little bit more of this color. And I'll bring it over here in the area to work. And I'll grab me just a little bit of the yellow ochre and bring over here in it. Just kind of loosely mix it. Pick up that little roll. I always want that little roll on that knife. And I'll just come up here, just like putting highlights on the mountain. Just let it pull off what it wants. Just real light, no pressure. No pressure, just barely touching. Just let it pull off right what it wants to pull off. Just like so. Then we can grab just a little bit of the white and come back. Very little bit of the white. Just come back. I'm going to say about right in here. I can add just a few highlights across here. Don't need many highlights. Just very little. In fact, I think that may be a little much. So I'm going to tone that down some. Just come back up here. Just let that white show a little bit. It don't need to show much. Just across a couple places. Kind of give it that rock look in a way. We just don't want it glaring back here. About like so. All right. And I'm going to get a little more white, pull it down. Got just a little bit of the blue in it now, just a very tad bit. And I'm coming right up here. I'm going to start working me out a water line across here. Just like so. Right under that little peninsula of land we just made. this up just a little bit more. Just like so. That should be good on our water lines. Also need to talk to you later. Let's chat this week. All right, buddy. Take it easy. Take care of that tooth, man. All right, we'll leave some of this alone until we start highlighting. Because at this point, I don't know what all we're going to end up with as far as colors. All right, I'm going to come over here and try to locate the script liner brush. I have such a hard time keeping up with that little tiny brush. There it is. All right, I'm going to put it right there. Bring it over here to my dark color that we made the trees with. Roll it around in there just a little. I'm going to come right out of here. Put us a little trunk in here. Come out with a little limb coming up. Another one on this side. One coming out here. About like that. I don't know if any of these will show up or not, but we'll add a couple in here just in case. I doubt they show up once we get to highlighting. All right, we'll clean that little brush off real quick. Lay it to the side. And we'll grab that oval brush now. Get just a little thinner on it. Don't take much. All right, we'll come right up here with my cad yellow. Pick up just a hair of green. Not much. Just a little. Tap this color right on the brush. Want these bristles good and open. Make sure they're open. That's real important right now. You want them bristles open. All right. And come right up here to this little tree and just ever so lightly touch. Such a light touch. Just make sure you leave yourself some darks in here. Don't kill all of them. Because if you kill all your dark, it's just gonna look flat. It's not gonna look much like a tree at all. Hey Paul, how are you, man? You been doing all right? All right. Been doing good. Hope the same for you. Yeah, I've been hanging in there pretty good. Things haven't been that bad. Just been doing a little painting and living life. All right, I'm gonna pick up just a little bit more green now. Bring it down here into this yellow because we gotta have a color change. Remember that. Anytime you leave one color, you come into another one. You got to have that color change. So we'll pop us in a couple of green bushes right in here. About like so. I'm gonna see if I can keep this painting here more in the summer thing. I've been painting a lot of stuff here lately in the fall stuff. So I'm gonna try to keep this one more to the summer side. So if I'm gonna use this green all the way down, that means I'm gonna have to leave plenty of dark color. But that's okay. We can do that. About like so. All right, now I'm gonna pick that fan brush up I had a minute ago. I'm gonna wash it, get this color out of it. It's got all the dark colors in it. And I'm gonna come right up here, pick me up a little more green. Come back down here, reach over here and get just a little of the ochre, a little of the cad yellow. Load it up with this green color. Just don't want it the same color as our bushes. All right, I'm gonna come right up here at the bottom of these bushes, and I want to just start tapping on a little grass looking effect across here. Use just a corner of that brush, and it'll kind of work out better for you. We can bring that grass right onto the bank down here. Just make sure you leave some dark up there in front of it, or on top of it. You don't want to cover all that up. That's going to be our hiding place for our little bunny rabbits and stuff. Tommy said, "How are you tonight? Glad to have you back." Hey, Steve, glad to have you back. Thank y'all for joining me. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm doing good. Just having a ball painting, man. As long as I can paint, I'm having a good day. Just like so. We'll just let that grass come down right on our bank. And that gives us plenty of dark area back here in the back for our little animals to hide. And gives us a separation. Thank you. I appreciate that, Steve. We'll come all the way out to the tip out here. All right, now kind of to trick the eye a little bit, we're going to come in here and put some little twigs back in here. Make it look like little sticks and twigs. That'll take away from all that vastly dark color. And it don't take many of these to be affected, just a few here and there. You can put a couple up in your bushes if you want to. Just adds a little excitement to the paintings all. Now we know what color we got down here. We know that up on the tree, we had mainly yellow. So we can go back, load up with a little of the yellow, and come in here and just touch around. And it don't have to be nothing fancy. And we know the rest of the way, we have mostly green. So just come over here and touch around with the green color, about like so. See you, Paul. Thank you for stopping by, man. About like that. And we'll just bring that green all the way up. That's the same color as the grass. And we'll drop that brush in the thinner. Now with this brush, I'm going to come right over here and just real lightly, I mean extremely lightly, pull across these colors. Just ever so lightly right there. Then wipe that brush off. And then just barely come across here. Just barely. Barely touching. And that'll give us instant reflections. How long have you been painting? Steve, I've been painting about 5 years. I've been a Bob Ross instructor about 3 or 4 years now. I'll have to go back and look at the date. I'm not 100% sure when I got certified now. That's sad, huh? It was about three or 4 years now. I've been a Bob Ross instructor, so I really enjoyed it. But now there's been a ton of practice in between then and now. What's glooping gamers? I don't know, Joey. What's glooping gamers? I'm assuming that means what's going on. I guess. All right, grab my 1-inch brush here again. Come right back up here and give me a little bit more Phthalo blue. It's kind of a way of saying, "What's up?" That's kind of what I thought it was. Right. Then I'm gonna get me a little more brown, and I'll stay over here with my dark color I used to make my mound with. I'll even come over here and get a little sap green. Bring it over. Just mixing a bunch of dark colors together here. I'll even grab a little of the alizarin crimson. Just a bunch of dark colors. Just tap them right in the brush. Loading it up. I apologize if my formal greeting came across as disrespectful. I sincerely regret my actions and understand the distress. You didn't cause any distress, George. I kind of felt like that's what it meant. I'm just a little older, And my generation has got a lot to learn about the newer generation and the lingos thereof. All right, so I'm going to start out now with another little tree. Let's give myself tree shape up here. Go right over that pretty mountain we just made. Well, I hate doing that. But we know we made it, and we know how to make another if we need to. So, as long as we got some practice out of it, we didn't lose nothing. All right, I'll bring these branches on out. I love to say, what's gloping gamers? Glooping gamers. I love slime puns. Just painting, man. Just having a good time. And I will start coming out at a funny little angle here. Not like so. Just a real funny looking little angle right here. Because I got something in mind for over here. If it all works out. Oh, it's Mava. Hey, how are you, Mava? Thank you for joining us again. All right, I'm just going to come across the bottom like that. Now, I know this is a really weird angle, but trust me, I got a plan. If it works out, maybe it will. I hope. Do I have pets? Yes, I do. I have 2 dachshunds that think they are Rottweilers. And I have 4 birds, cockatiels, that think they have to be heard every night, or else their little world comes to an end. A cat named Bagel. All right, then. That's quite the name, Bagel. I kind of like that. I have well, actually, I have videos of my dogs and of my birds on my YouTube channel. You may just have to go through there and try to find them, but I've got a couple videos of the dogs because they're so photogenic. They just love being videoed and photographed. But now they will. I don't know if you're familiar with the breed or not, but they bark at air. So anything they see, they really think it's something. Gotta go. Bye, Harold. Your painting is very nice. Well, thank you, Joy. I appreciate you stopping by. If you enjoyed it enough, hit that subscribe button, man. I would appreciate it. I need all I can get by October. That's my deadline for 1,000. And right now I'm running way short of that. But yeah, our dogs, man, they they are a special breed. They absolutely love themselves. But they are loyal. Good God, are they loyal. If you ever get one that falls in love with you, you won't never have no problems finding a dog that loves you. Because they make every move you make. The only way I can get the way down here and get to the studio is my wife, she has to keep them upstairs. And then on the nights that she wants to watch me paint, she just logs in on her computer and kind of keeps an eye on it, on the rooms for me from her computer upstairs. Because if we were both down here, would nothing get done with all the screaming and howling. I'm telling you, they get super loud. Their names are my dog, the one that is more faithful to me, is Wyatt, like Wyatt Earp. And our other one, which is Mama's dog, is Patches. They're both male. And we were worried, they're both rescues. And we were worried when we got them if they were going to bond or if we was going to have fights all the time. And you'd think that them two dogs were raised together. They absolutely love each other. And I think if we were to lose one, I think the other one would grieve itself to death because they're that close. I mean, they are. One can't be somewhere without the other one, which totally shocked me. I mean, I just knew we'd have dominance issues and everything else, but they get along so good. And they just so doggone cute because they're miniature dachshunds. They got little legs about 2 inches long. And they may weigh 10, 11 pounds, both of them. They're tiny, but they are full of spirit. If something happens up there in a few minutes and they don't like it, you'll hear them. They will let you know about it. Trust me. All right, I'm gonna come over here now. I'm gonna pick up a little of my yellow. Now that I got all that done, this has got a little green in it. I'm gonna put a little more green in it. Not much, just a little. Just tapping it right on the brush. Make sure the brush is good and open. And I'll come right up here and just start adding a little color. Just got to be careful when you're doing this, not to kill all them dark colors. As y'all well know now, I said enough. About like that ought to do it on the tree. The trees are probably my favorite part of your art. The texture is so satisfying and pretty. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I worked on, oh goodness, I can't tell you how long. I worked on trees for a long time. Uh, Back when I first started doing these type of trees rather than the pines or the evergreens, I had done some one night, and my wife, God love her, uh, I was trying to do like an autumn theme or a fall theme, and I'd done this what I thought was real pretty painting, and I came in and I done two trees like in the foreground, and I thought, well, they should be orange because it's fall. So I took and painted them orange. Now, granted, I did not know what I was doing back then, and Tammy said, "Yeah, I do sell them. In fact, I've got some to ship out Monday. Uh, if they're dry enough, I hope they are, because one of them is actually a surprise for a guy for his birthday. So I hope they're dry enough that he can get it. But yeah, I do. I'm fixing to do a Etsy store, but normally I just sell them to people on Facebook that ask, or private message me or ask. But what I was saying about my trees is I got some orange, and I painted them orange because I thought they were, it'd be a good color for the fall. And they I asked her, I said, turn around there and tell me what you think about this painting. And she turned around and she looked at it and she said, what's the big orange hay bales for? I said, what hay bales? She said, the big orange ones. Are you going to make them out of like pumpkins? Because it was kind of like Halloween at the time. So I guess she thought I was going to paint pumpkin faces on them or whatever. I was like, oh my God. I said, no, those are trees. And she said, oh, okay. Well, from that time forward, I went to work on some trees. I went to practicing. I think I painted more trees in a couple months' time than ever. I mean, I'm telling you, I painted up some trees. But I got pretty decent at them, I thought. So one day I painted a few more. And I said something to her about my trees. And she said, well, the only thing I don't understand is why your trees always are the same height. I was like, oh my God, this is my wife here. But she was super critical of them trees until I made this breakthrough from practice. And I'm telling you, it was just a lot of practice. I would sit there and paint trees and then paint the canvas over, paint more trees and paint the canvas over. And I would do that over and over and over until I got where I'm at now. And I'm still not as good as I want to be, but I'm way better than I used to be. But it just takes practice. I mean, that's all. Do you have any tips for a beginning painter? Uh, yeah. To anybody fixing to start out painting, the first thing I would say is don't spend a lot of money right up front. Look for maybe some used stuff or some inexpensive stuff. I don't know what medium you want to start with. Like acrylic or oil. There's a world of difference in them. But depending on where you live, what area, you can go online and look, type type in Bob Ross instructors, and there may be a Bob Ross instructor that's not too far from you, like somewhere close to where you live, maybe. And if so, I would recommend getting up with them and go take a few paint lessons with them, because everything's provided. You don't have to buy nothing to start, and that will let you know if you even got the knack for it, or because anybody can do this technique. I mean, they really can. It's just practice, a lot of practice, and having somebody to show you the initial techniques on how to load the brush and how to use the paint, how to use the brush. And that's basically what I do on my YouTube channel. I try to do it step by step, just like I was teaching a class. I even have lessons on different things, on how to do this or how to do that. But now, if you're in a classroom setting, it's totally different than watching it on a YouTube video. But you could go to a class and just get with an instructor and see if you like it before you go out and spend a lot of money, because this stuff can get expensive. I mean, it's a lot of stuff involved, a lot of stuff you got to have. You got canvases and easels and paint, brushes. So yeah, that would probably be my first advice, is to make sure you're gonna like it before you go out and invest a lot of money. To get with somebody. I mean, there may even be a painter in your town that's willing to work with you, on like a one-on-one type basis. And I'm fixing to start doing classes over the phone, one-on-one with people. Only thing there is you kind of have to have your own stuff already. And if you don't, that kind of makes it hard. But that's basically the advice I would give anybody that's wanting to start out, is just make sure it's something you're going to want to do. Because if you go out and make an investment of, a whole lot of money and then find out you don't like it, and kind of getting rid of it hurts. Because it's you don't seem to get your money back on it. It's like it loses value. I'm going to set a couple little trees in right here now. What I did was come in here and put the dark color down for a path. But I'm going to come back and straighten all that out in a little bit. I'm just adding some bushes in here right now. Just some taller bushes. Then I'm going to come back and add a few shorter ones along the way. But as of right now, I just want to add the indication of some smaller bushes down through here. And I'm going to try to keep them in the green tones if I can as well. Hope that helped you out some, Steve. All right, now, I'll pick up a little of this highlight color that I used over here on my land earlier. I'm going to come right up here just real lightly. Real lightly. And let this color kind of pull off. When I was a 7th grader, I used to make some simple acrylic painted landscapes. Silhouettes of pine trees. Did you enjoy it? Doing that? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, that gives us a little path that we can take, kind of walk back here into nowhere. We don't know what's going on back there, and it's probably best if we don't, because there may be some creatures back here we don't want to discover. So then we can come over here like we did on this side and just scrape us in some little sticks and twigs along the path, just to kind of give it break up some of the dark. You don't have to put many. It don't take many of these to really be effective. Just something to kind of pull the eye to them. I guess we could, while we're here, we'll just take us I'm going to grab just a little bit of this brown color here. I did enjoy it. I still draw sometimes. Just did it right there. That's good. Yeah, I've seen some of the digital art here lately, and I will say it is amazing what people are doing with this stuff. I mean, it really is. All right, I put a little bit of brown on my script liner. I'm just gonna come up here and add a couple little sticks and twigs up through here. Like maybe a couple little old ones that just standing there. Maybe a couple back here. I may bring one off my island back here. Just kind of just to give it that look. Like it's got some little dead limbs and stuff hanging around. And I'll come over here and get me some bright red now. And I'll come right here and I'll put my mark on it. And that'll wrap it up. We can call that a done painting now. Do you guys watch TikTok at all? Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Let me pull this around where you might whoop, wrong way. Where you might can see it head on. On TikTok, I am painting with Harold Weeks. My last name is on TikTok, and I'm gonna be on there tomorrow night around 8:30, and I'm doing a painting where the canvas is gonna be standing straight up, and I'm gonna do like a mountain way off in the distance with a couple closer up mountains with a stream, like some rocks down here with a stream coming out and trees all beside it. If that painting goes the way I think it will, that should absolutely be a beautiful, beautiful painting. The way I'm seeing it in my mind, but now my mind sees things all funny sometimes. You stun me every time. It's of course. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it, man. I really do. Thank you, Tom said. I appreciate that. I got suspended the last time I was on TikTok, so I can't go back live until after 8:15 tomorrow. So I'm just gonna set everything up to be on at 8:30, and try to do another live over there and see how it goes. Steve, I really don't know why. And Turner said, yeah, they are. I don't know what happened. They said I violated community standards, and I don't know what the violation was. I don't have a clue. And they do not tell you. They just say you broke them. They leave it at that. That painting's got a little summertime feel to it. I kind of like that one. Not that I like summer. Because good grief, I'm ready for summer to be over. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. I really do. I love all of y'all. God loves you more. And from the bottom of my heart, thank y'all for being here, man. I really appreciate it. Uh, yeah, me too, Steve. And hope you get to come back and catch me again on YouTube. I'll probably be back on YouTube if you miss me on TikTok, hopefully Tuesday, probably around 7, 8, somewhere in that neighborhood. Good night, Nava. Thank you for being here. And I mean, just, if you can help me put my name out, just share, whatever you can do, I appreciate it. I mean, if you can't do nothing at all, I just appreciate you being here. So thank y'all very much for following me and subscribing. I saw where y'all subscribed last night, and I thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for that. When I get to 800, I'm doing a drawing for $80. And when I get to 900, I'm doing a drawing for $90. And then when I hit 1,000, I'm doing a drawing for $100 and a Bob Ross master paint set that I'm giving away. So I'm really looking forward to hitting that 1,000, because whoever wins that's going to be a good deal for them. But that's the only way I know of giving back to people that are supporting me, So well, thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. I really do. Like I said, all I can do is say thank you, and I don't know if that holds any merit or not, but I do really mean it when I say it. All right, guys, y'all have a great night, and I'll see y'all again right here on Painting with Harold. Hopefully, we'll do another pretty painting and see what goes on. Watching you paint is rewarding. Oh man, I appreciate it. See y'all next time. Good night, all. Have a blessed night.